can go.
Good morning to everyone present this morning. Firstly, I would like to say thank you for the invitation extended to us, and also begin by apologizing on the behalf of my principal, who was meant to be here giving the address, Dr. Makhozi Khoza. Unfortunately, politics is rather unpredictable at the time, and she had to take an urgent trip to Durban this morning, so she couldn't be here. But we are here on her behalf, and given the talk that was given earlier on, I think her spirit is here with us. So I am just going to proceed by there. I'm not much of a public speaker, that much. I think I need to just get out so that I'm calmer and I can get things done. And also, it doesn't help to speak after the eloquent address that was given this morning here as well. But I'm going to try and do my best. My name is Busi Hadebe. I am the President spokesperson for ActionSA, and I will be telling everyone a bit about ActionSA, what we are doing, where we come from, and give one or two examples about what we think our future should look like as South Africans. Now, ActionSA is a political party that just celebrated a year anniversary on the 29th of August. What is remarkable about it is, I think, yes, I can say I'm pretty sure, we are the only organization that was not started because we are being pushed by anything other than the advancement of South Africans. The origins of ActionSA mean that none of the founding members were pushed outside. Heaven Mashaba, who was the president of ActionSA, left his previous political home because he realized that he couldn't be affiliated with people that didn't want to share resources and wealth with the bulk of society. And I'm unashamed to say the bulk of society happens to be the Black African majority. So where he was previously, he felt that wealth should be shared amongst all of us. As a self-made entrepreneur, he felt that the advancement of society was more important than servicing affluent communities only. It should be across the board. But he didn't also want to be pompous and say, okay, he's going into the political spectrum. He wanted to get endorsements from South Africans. He wanted it to be a collaborative process of what is it that we actually need as society? What is it that we think we can do together using our different skill sets in order to advance this country? And that is how the People's Dialogue was born. Because the People's Dialogue then collected views from South Africans all over the country. And this is no small achievement, given the fact that this was done during the peak of COVID-19, where we didn't know what was going to happen, where we couldn't leave our homes, and yet he found a way to get South Africans to engage. Over and above that, in getting report backs from South Africans, he had set himself a task of 500 South Africans saying, okay, go ahead, start a political party, we are endorsing you. But he exceeded expectations in the form of getting 2.3 million responses during the peak of COVID. Also, what happened was they received over, I think it was 100,000 responses that were over 12 pages long. So this just goes to show you that as a nation, we are able to articulate our views and we are able to say what is it that we need, how we need it, and how we can then move forward. Everything about ActionSA is South African centered. Even the name says Action for South Africa. So we are an organization of South Africans for South Africans. That's point number one. So Heaven Mashaba is our president. But in terms of the leadership provincially, across the board, we are found everywhere in South Africa, but the only provinces currently that have provincial leadership are in Gauteng, who is John Moody. We have representation in the Western Cape in the form of Mamfeki Mento. And here in KZN, we have Dr. Makhozi Khoza, who is the provincial chairperson and currently our mayoral candidate as we are in LGE season. Okay. Let me make sure I'm not deviating from my notes. I think what was said previously goes hand in hand with what we are trying to do as ActionSA. I attended a talk a few years ago by Obasanjo, where he was launching a talk. And he talked about how Singapore was able to get it right. And the reason they were able to get it right is that they picked 5 things that they thought they should be doing for the advancement of their society. So in ActionSA, we have adopted a similar view in that we're not trying to do everything at once, but we have identified through the people's dialogues and the submissions by South Africans who participated in that process that there are 7 core values that we should focus on. And in focusing our energies on those 7 core values, we are then going to reap the ripple effect of doing those 7 things correctly. First of which is that we are a truly, truly non-racial party. From representation in Senate, which is our highest decision-making body, to all the way down to our provincial leadership here, we are truly non-racial. We have Black South Africans, we have white South Africans, we have South Africans of Indian descent that are origins to here in South Africa. So we have really taken a concerted effort to even look for people who are, yes, competent, but of different races. Because like-mindedness breeds complacency, as was previously alluded to today. So we're trying to get as much diversity as possible, because as an individual, you can only stretch as much as your circumstance and reality. But in collaborating with others, we are able to broaden your horizons and take other South Africans with you. Our second principle is that of electoral reform. We are where we are today because, yes, we've allowed the situation to happen, but the landscape has not really allowed for South Africans to choose their own leadership at ground level. So what we have done is something that hasn't been done before. We have allowed people to participate in electing their own leaders, even from a municipal level. Even before we get to election, we did something in Joburg that we said, that we called primaries, where all the mayoral candidates in Johannesburg were elected by the people. So the representations there already have endorsement at ward level as well. So we're trying to get South Africans into thinking that you don't have to be a person who has served, who has mileage in a political party in order for you to say, I am here, I want to work for my community, and I want to use politics as an engine to do as much change as possible. Because whether we like it or not, you cannot do much outside of the realm of politics. In order for you to instill as much change as possible, you need to be a person who is involved in the political spectrum, which is why it gives me great pleasure that we were part of a talk this morning that said the churches can't be out of this. Nobody can be out of this. The mere fact that you are born, your entire existence is a political one. So you might as well own it, claim it, and play your role in whatever skill set you have in making sure that we advance our society. Our third principle is that of ethical leadership. Again, we're where we are because we have allowed people, we have allowed the catering system, we have allowed the struggle credentials, we have allowed all sorts of, I think it's fair to call them nonsensical things, to creep into our society and deliver leaders that are not a true representation of what we need, of what is going to take us forward. So in ActionSA, you have ethical leadership that is tried and tested. You have ethical leadership in the form of Herman Mashaba, who said, I'm going to give up being mayor. I'm doing great work, but I can't serve a small pocket of society. It's not who I am. It's not serving my moral conscience. So I need to be where the people are. I need to be where I can do the most change. We have the Western Cape chairperson in Mamfeki Mento, who is the sole reason we have state capture today. She's a woman who said, no, this report is not going to die. I'm going to follow it up. I'm going to make sure that state capture is born out of this. We have Dr. Khoza, who was the lone voice in Parliament, who said, nope, not this president, not this one. He is not the man who is supposed to be leading South Africa. And she was alone, and she was a woman, and she did the right thing. So those are the kind of leaders that we have today. The next point is, I think I'm on point number 4 now, which is economic prosperity. No country can thrive with the workforce that we have. We have a non-existent labor force right now. We have unemployment here in eThekwini at epic proportions. We have never had so many people living in this city that are unemployed as we do right now. And furthermore, of that high number of people that are unemployed, 40% of them have given up looking for jobs. So it's not only that they are unemployed, but you know, the conditions are so dire that even if you get up and try and look for work, you are so demoralized. And let's not forget that the very mere act of looking for work is expensive. We exist in a country that makes it so difficult for you to look for work because you have to have your documents certified, which means that every single 3 months, if you are not working, you need to go, make copies again, go to your local police station, get your documents certified, go to a computer place, have them uploaded, and some places charge about 10 rand a page. So where are you supposed to be getting all of this money for you to be employable to begin with? Another aspect that we have is that of social justice. We believe very much in social justice, and one of the things that we are going to try and achieve here in eThekwini where social justice is concerned is the eradication of rented child, which are those small children that you see everywhere begging while their parents watch in the streets. That is at the core of social justice. And ultimately, our last point is the rule of law. No country can exist in chaos. No country can exist in chaos, and floundering of the rule of law, failure to apply the rule of law, having the rule of law being inaccessible to ordinary South Africans is what has delivered the kind of situation that we find ourselves in today. A typical example of us going after the rule of law is the pronouncement that the EFF leader has been found guilty by the Ethics Committee. Because it was Herman Mashaba who wrote the letter to Parliament saying, no, but he can't be saying people should find creative ways of entering the country. What is creative ways of entering a sovereign country with a constitution that says, enter through our borders? What does he mean by that? So the mere fact that he's been found guilty is a step of showing everybody that we are not a political party of talkers. We might not be in government yet, but in our positions right now, we have achieved a lot. Tomorrow they are going to be in courts, demonstrating in front of the courts, because we believe in the protection of whistleblowers. Babita has been killed because she was giving evidence where the PPE scandal was concerned, and she was murdered in a horrendous way. And we are throwing our support behind her, and we're saying, no, whoever killed her should be found. Because those are the people that have been siphoning funds. Those are the people that are making sure that the dependency syndrome, the enrichment of a select few is what is going on in this country. And as for the people of eThekwini in closing now, our mayoral candidate is a woman of integrity. Our mayoral candidate is somebody who is fighting. She has over 35 years in politics. She is currently the most qualified person when it comes to local government. Everything that you see that is local government related, she has had a part in developing the foundation way. Each and every piece of legislation, she's been there. Her passion is local government. And in her words, she likes saying that your entire existence is local government related. Your entire existence. You are born at a local government level. you go to school at a local government level, and ultimately you are buried at a local government level. So non-participation in the issues of local government, people like advocating for national elections as if big grand things happen at national elections. It's at the ground level where things happen. This is why ActionSA is not following the routes of other political parties that were established before us, that go straight ahead and contest national elections, having not established structures at a ground level, at a local level. Because it is you and me, our kids, our families, that are suffering because eThekwini is the way that it is. It is us that is unable to take our kids to the beach. It is us that is unable to jog at night because it's dangerous. It is us that has to avoid certain streets, certain places, because as an ordinary South African, you don't feel safe. You are outnumbered. You are outnumbered there. How many places in eThekwini where you can't just be there as a South African, as somebody who was born here, regardless of your race? How many places are you afraid to go to because you know that, no, this belongs to a certain area or a certain group of people that you don't even know how they got here? We have a serious problem. We have a serious problem of undocumented citizens that are taking over our country, that are putting pressure on infrastructure that is made for you and me. We do not have a problem with visitors, be it of African descent, be it of Asian descent. We do not have a problem with visitors. We do not have a problem with people taking up South African nationality in the proper channels. We have structures in place. We cannot have people outnumbering us, taking over our resources, and we don't know how they got here, and they are committing crimes, and we have no way of finding them or going after them. So I implore everybody who is watching today to make sure that, number one, you are registered. Number two, that you take your responsibility and you claim your power back. And like our posters say, if you are somebody who is heartful of politics, which is an authentic South African word, I don't think it exists anywhere else in the country, it means you're tired. It means you're tired of the situation, but true to form, our name is action. So don't just be tired. Don't just complain about your situation. Link arms with like-minded people. Link arms with other people in your community that are already trying to instill change. Talk to people about what it means when you are not voting. Talk to people about the 18 million that are choosing to abstain and how that is just used to perpetuate the current status quo. Take part in our local government elections. It is only through then that we will see real change. Thank you.